Introduction. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it's almost impossible not to compare yourself to others. From social media feeds filled with picture-perfect vacations, career milestones, and seemingly flawless relationships, to real-life interactions where people casually drop hints about their accomplishments, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. But here's the hard truth. Comparison is a silent thief that robs you of your peace, joy, and self-worth. The act of comparing yourself to others isn't just harmful, it's also futile. Why? Because everyone's life is different. No two paths are the same, and no amount of comparison will ever give you an accurate measure of success or happiness. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, it's time to shift your attention inward, to your own growth, dreams, and potential. Let's explore why comparing yourself to others is so damaging, how it affects your mental health, and most importantly, how you can break free from this toxic habit and embrace your unique journey. Why comparing yourself to others is harmful. It creates unrealistic expectations. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're often comparing their highlight reel to your behind the scenes. Social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn showcase only the best moments of people's lives, the promotions, the vacations, the happy families, but they rarely reveal the struggles, failures, and sacrifices that came before those successes. For example, you might see someone post about landing their dream job, but you don't know how many rejections they faced along the way. You might envy someone's perfect relationship, but you have no idea how much effort and compromise went into making it work. These curated snapshots create unrealistic expectations for your own life, leaving you feeling inadequate when your reality doesn't match up. It undermines your self-worth. Constantly measuring yourself against others can lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. When you focus on what you lack instead of what you have, you start to believe that you're not good enough. Over time, this mindset erodes your confidence and makes it harder to take risks or pursue your goals. Think about it. If you're always looking over your shoulder to see who's ahead of you, how can you possibly move forward? Comparison keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, preventing you from recognizing your own strengths and talents. It distracts you from your own goals. Every person has their own timeline, and comparing yourself to others takes your eyes off your own path. Instead of working toward your personal goals, you waste energy trying to keep up with someone else's pace. This not only slows down your progress, but also leaves you feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. For instance, if you're constantly comparing your career trajectory to a friend who seems to be climbing the corporate ladder faster than you might rush into decisions that aren't right for you. Like taking a job you don't enjoy just because it looks impressive on paper. In the end, you'll end up further away from your true purpose. It breeds resentment and negativity. Comparison often leads to jealousy and resentment, which can poison your relationships. If you find yourself envying someone else's success, it becomes difficult to genuinely celebrate their achievements. This negativity not only harms your connection with others, but also creates a toxic environment within yourself. Instead of being inspired by someone else's accomplishments, you may start to view them as competition. This mindset shifts your focus from collaboration and mutual support to rivalry and isolation, which ultimately holds you back from forming meaningful connections. The psychology behind comparison. To understand why we compare ourselves to others, we need to look at human psychology. The tendency to compare ourselves to those around us is deeply ingrained in our nature. Psychologists call this phenomenon social comparison theory, first introduced by Leon Festinger in 1954. According to this theory, humans have an innate drive to evaluate their abilities and opinions by comparing themselves to others. There are two types of social comparison. Upward comparison, when you compare yourself to someone you perceive as better or more successful than you. While this can sometimes motivate you to improve, it often leads to feelings of inferiority and dissatisfaction. Downward comparison, when you compare yourself to someone you perceive as worse off than you. While this can temporarily boost your self-esteem, it's not a healthy or sustainable way to feel good about yourself. The problem arises when these comparisons become obsessive or frequent. Instead of using them as tools for growth, they turn into sources of stress and unhappiness. How to stop comparing yourself to others. Now that we've explored why comparison is harmful, let's talk about practical steps you can take to stop this destructive habit and reclaim your sense of self-worth. Acknowledge that everyone's journey is unique. One of the most powerful ways to overcome comparison is to remind yourself that everyone's journey is different. Just because someone else achieved something earlier or in a different way doesn't mean your path is wrong. Life isn't a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and detours. Ask yourself, what does success mean to me? What are my values, passions, and priorities? Once you define success on your own terms, external comparisons lose their power over you. Limit exposure to toxic influences. Social media is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to fostering unhealthy comparisons. To protect your mental health, consider limiting your screen time or curating your feed to include only content that inspires and uplifts you. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself, and follow ones that promote positivity, authenticity, and growth. If certain people in your life constantly brag or make you feel inferior, it might be time to distance yourself from them. Surround yourself with individuals who genuinely care about your well-being and encourage you to thrive. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to comparison. When you focus on what you already have, you naturally feel more content and fulfilled. Start a daily gratitude journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big. They could be as simple as a delicious meal, a kind gesture from a stranger, or a beautiful sunset. By shifting your perspective from scarcity, I don't have enough, to abundance, I have so much to be grateful for, you'll begin to appreciate your own life more deeply. Celebrate your progress, not perfection. Perfectionism often fuels comparison because it sets impossibly high standards. Instead of striving for perfection, aim for progress. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. Did you learn a new skill? Great. Did you handle a tough situation with grace? Amazing. Did you simply get out of bed on a rough day? That's worth celebrating too. Remember, growth is a lifelong process. It's okay to stumble along the way. As long as you keep moving forward, you're doing just fine. Focus on becoming better than yesterday. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compete with your past self. Ask yourself, am I healthier, happier, or more skilled than I was last year? Am I learning from my mistakes and growing as a person? By setting personal benchmarks, you'll stay motivated without falling into the trap of comparison. This approach also helps you develop a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. With a growth mindset, challenges become opportunities for learning, and setbacks become stepping stones to success. Cultivate self-compassion. Self-compassion means treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during difficult times. When you catch yourself comparing, pause and ask, would I say this to a close friend? Chances are, you'd offer words of encouragement instead of criticism. Extend that same compassion to yourself. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel insecure sometimes. That's part of being human. But don't let those feelings define you. Practice affirmations like, I am worthy, I am enough, and I am on my own unique journey. Seek inspiration, not comparison. While comparison can be harmful, inspiration can be incredibly motivating. Instead of envying someone else's success, use it as fuel to pursue your own dreams. Study their habits, strategies, and mindset, and apply what resonates with you. For example, if you admire someone's fitness journey, focus on adopting healthy habits rather than obsessing over their physique. Let their story inspire you to create your own version of success. Final thoughts: embrace your uniqueness. At the end of the day, there is no one else like you in this world. Your experiences, talents, and perspectives are completely unique, and that's what makes you special. Comparing yourself to others diminishes your individuality and blinds you to your own potential. As author Brené Brown wisely said, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. So, stop looking outward for validation and start looking inward for strength. Trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't look like anyone else's. Life isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of yourself. Focus on your own growth, nurture your passions, and surround yourself with positivity. And whenever doubt creeps in, remember this: you are enough just as you are. Stay strong, stay inspired, and above all, stay true to your authentic self. Glowing Star.